Hi. Can you remind us how many jobs may be created by this and what income could be generated by this, both directly and indirectly?
Did you want a general discussion on economic development? I just missed the first part of that.
The employment
number of jobs. I mean, there are about 12,000 trade shows that are produced every year in the United States, trade and consumer shows. And there are hundreds of trade show halls and lots of governmental agencies that manage, own, and pay for those halls. And most of them have been constructed with a background document on economic development. Because so many economic development documents have been produced, there are pretty well-established statistics and metrics for measuring economic impact. And basically, they look at about $1,100 a day per attendee. That's what the trade show industry estimates the economic impact of a single visitor is. Our program is to go after really the medical market. There are about 570 medical trade shows in the United States, and we figure we can get 10% of them to rotate through Cleveland, once every 10 years. And during a certain year, we might have 50, 60 trade shows. But we're not asking anybody to commit to Cleveland forever. And you get 4,000 or 5,000 attendees, 4,000 attendees, let's say on average. So if you did 60 shows, you had 4,000, there'd be about 240,000 attendees. Do the same sort of program with conferences. You probably add another 50, 60,000 attendees, and you end up with enormous economic impact if you could multiply 300,000 attendees by $1,100 in your head. I'd say that the great thing about the trade show industry, which makes it different than a lot of other things, is there's an enormous multiplier effect, because the people who are involved in hospitality spend their money right away. The housekeepers, the busboys, the waiters, the servers, the cooks, the chefs, the cab drivers, they are likely to spend their paycheck within a week or two. And the people that they spend that money on often spend that money right away as well. So within about a 2.5, 3 week period, you have about a 3-to-1 multiplier effect that's pretty well documented across the country. So you can take whatever number you end up with, which is just north of about $300 million, and triple that in terms of economic impact on an annual basis.
I know that there are going to be many learning opportunities for high school students. I know that John Hay now partners with Cleveland Clinic, has an excellent program. Through this whole process, through the building, through the trade shows, what plans are there to work with superintendents of various high schools in the county to make sure that our high school students also can take part in learning this whole process?
I'd say there's really 3 components to the program. One is something that we would administer directly, where we would work with area high schools to learn our business. That is the management of these facilities, the real estate business, and general operations. 2, which is much more, it can be much more exciting really, is to work with the inbound trade shows and ask them to set aside the afternoon of their last day, when the show is always slow, to make that student day, and tell them that we will use our network of connections and a push-the-button infrastructure to bring in area high school and college students for an internship and education day in the afternoon of the last day. And that can provide enormous educational opportunities for an enormous swath of the population. And the third is to work with the union infrastructure in Cleveland to create apprenticeship programs, because we are ultimately going to need much more labor than the Northeastern Ohio is prepared to make available to us for the construction of these events.
I think, do we have another question? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I've got maybe the last question.
Don't let me hold it. He doesn't trust me with this. Look, I've listened to this and I've watched this for a long time develop. My name is Don Esserove, and I've been in this community for a while. Is there anybody here that doesn't think the medical mart's a good idea? Raise your hand if you do, please. How many of you think it's a great idea? Raise your hand. Okay, guys, then you know, what's the problem? We've had a lot of discussion.
You're a man after my own heart.
Tim, I've known you long enough to know. We've had a lot of discussion. We've been in a lot of different places. We've talked about a lot of different things. But at the end of the day, guys, this is a great idea, so let's just get on with it.
Thank you.
I think, unless there's time for one final question, you know, okay, do we have another one? No, okay.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, today at the City Club of Cleveland, we've been listening to a panel discussion featuring Cuyahoga County Commissioner Tim Hagan, Cleveland Clinic CEO Toby Cosgrove, and MMPI President Chris Kennedy, and moderated by WCPN's Eric Wellman. Thank you, panelists. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and this forum is now adjourned.
For information on upcoming speakers or for podcasts of the City Club, go to cityclub.org.